Alright guys, Will here from Zaltek Reviews. Today I'm taking my first look at a watch from Damasko. Obviously a German brand, not a micro brand I might add. They're way beyond that. Quite a premium watch, as you could probably tell from the price tag, which is $1,770 US. Quite expensive, but I'll tell you straight off the bat, it's worth it. This, even though it looks quite simplistic in its design, the build quality is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. I mean, there's no brushing and polishing or any, fancy palaver with the design. It's a tool watch, and it's a really good one, I've got to say. Looking through all the tool watches that I've got in my looking through all the tool watches I've got in my elite list, this number one, easy. It's built like a tank, and it's not just built like a tank, it's the execution, like just using the crown for instance, it's buttery smooth, and you could tell, this is leagues above other things that I've reviewed. The closest I've, like the same sort of ballpark, is the Zin 556i. I reviewed that years ago. I think it was a written review that I done, but it's still on my elite list because obviously that is a great watch. What I do like about the Zin over the Damasko is the dial, I have to admit. But other than that, this it's better than the Zin. It's better than any other ones that are on there. Oh right, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Sod it. Play the intro, then I'll get into the meat of the review, even though I've just basically said it's brilliant. Right guys, before I get into it, this watch is on loan. A huge thanks to Noman Watches in Singapore, especially Sam there. He contacted me and he says, would you like to do a review? There's absolutely zero influence from Noman Watches. Everything you're going to hear is my own thoughts. And this watch will be going back once I've finished with the review, etc, etc. I don't get to keep it, so there's no sponsorship, there's no money, there's no nothing. They've just lent it to me, said, make a video, tell us what you think, and send it back. I was like, okay then. So, here we have it, the Damasko DK36, we'll start again. The Damasko DK36/2. It's a pilot's /2 watch. Some might say it's a field watch. I'm just going to label it a pilot's watch because that's what Damasko watches are renowned for. So, why not? It's 100% a tool watch. Right. Let me get into it. I'll put that there. Oh, Christ almighty. There's the dog barking. Hold on. And no, it's not Gertie. I've got a new dog. Hang on. Oh, bloody dog. It's barking at a moth about 400 miles away. There's nobody there. Anyway. Right, let's get into the spec of this. I'll try and go through this, all the specs and stuff, because there's quite a fair bit to talk about. I'll go through it as quickly as possible. Right. Case diameter 40.1 mil, a total thickness of 11.8 mil, lug to lug 47.5 mil, and the watch has a 20 mil lug width. The total weight with the watch on this supplied leather strap is 87 grams. The movement, it's in-house, made by Damasko. It is the A26-3, and I believe this is the elaborate grade. You either get the elaborate grade or top grade. Either one. I mean, even if this is the elaborate grade, I mean, it's really accurate as well. It's running at plus 3 seconds a day when I put it on the time grapher, which is great. That's what German engineering's all about. Obviously, this entire watch is German made. Oh, more on the movement. It has a silicon escape wheel. It runs 28,800 vibrations an hour. It's hackable, and it's got a 42-hour power reserve. The watch is shockproof and anti-magnetic up to the, the German Institute, like, what do they call it? The DIN 8308 and 8309 Deutsch Institute. Oh, there's loads of German words after that. I can't put that up. Right, the case. It is ice-hardened, nickel-free stainless steel. Drilled lugs on the case. The ice-hardened aspect, basically, it's probably the hardest steel that you'll get. I mean, it doesn't make it any heavier or anything. It slightly changes the colour of it from normal stainless steel. It looks more, almost like a titanium grey colour. But it's not, stainless steel. How hard it is on the Vickers scale, I've no idea. But it'll be over, I'm guessing over 2,000 anyway. Where was I? I've lost my place. Oh, the bezel. The bezel's fixed. It's also ice hardened steel and all that to match, as is the crown. And the hardware on the strap, I believe. Put that there. I've done a fair bit of B-roll for this review, just to let you see different angles and aspects. Blah, blah, blah. Right, the dial, it's a matte black. It has the traditional crosshair design. You can see there that it's a day date, but they've moved it just below like the 3 to continue the crosshair and to keep the Arabic as well, which is, I've never seen that before where I've done that. I really like it. The printing, well, the whole watch, the whole dial is printed, but there's a shit ton of loom. This is one of the best loom applications I've seen in a good while. In fact, I'll show you a loom shot right now. As you can see, the actual loom itself is Super Luminova C3X1 grade, I believe, and there's an absolute shit ton of it on it. On the dial, on the markers and the hands and everything else. The hands themselves are like a syringe style. Plenty of room for the loom and everything else. I really like it. It's not perfect. Well, it will be perfect to some people, But for me, it's not. There is a few changes I would like to make, but they're never going to do that because it's Damasko's design like philosophy, if you know what I mean. If it was me personally, I would move the day date back up and I'd remove the crosshair. I just don't like the crosshair on the dial. I just think it's too much interference with the hands. If you know what I mean. It's a distraction rather than a necessity. But that's just me. I'm nitpicking because, as I said at the beginning, the watch is phenomenal. It really is. If they'd done this in a 38mm, which is more appropriate for my wrist size, I would buy this right now. That's how good it is. Most definitely. Because it's a 40, it fits my wrist, but I just prefer, especially a watch like this, when it's all dial, there's no like dive bezels or anything like that. I just prefer a 38. But that's just me, my own personal. But as I say, I would buy this. It's that good. I'm just showing you it on camera and I'm just talking about it. But it's see when you get the watch and you get it in hand, you can understand exactly why it's the price that it is. It's flawless in its approach, and it's just, as I said earlier, when you use the crown, it's buttery smooth. Everything feels perfect. There's no... Oh! No, I'll get into that in a minute. Right, where was I? I was on the dial, wasn't I? Oh aye, the day date is colour matched, which is superb. The day as well, it'll be shown in English and German for every day of the week. Let's talk about strap. Now, these straps are not cheap. These straps are not shite. These straps are fantastic. It doesn't look much, doesn't have quick release or anything else. It looks pretty bog standard. At a distance, you could pick a strap like this up from AliExpress for about £5. Well, think garbage that is. This strap, in fact, I'm going to say this strap is as good as, if not better, than what I've said is the best strap, and I've been saying it for years, which is the leather straps that you get from Formex. I think, I'd even say I like the Formex because the leather is so supple and it just feels like part of your wrist when you're wearing it. They're really, really nice. And I like the clasps and everything else. But this is just a two-piece strap. No frills. But it's the quality of the leather. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Matching hardware and everything. There is a bracelet that you can get for this. But you might need to sit down for what I've got to say about the bracelet. Here goes. It's optional and it'll cost you extra. It's a 20mm and it's fully ice hardened to match the watch. Solid links, screw pins, there's half links. And it's got a butterfly clasp, but you can get perfect fit with the half links. However, sit down when I tell you this, that it'll cost you an extra $720 on top of the purchase of the watch. But I looked at that, I was like, fuck! $720 for a bracelet? Alright. You can't buy it anywhere else. It's ice hardened, matches the watch perfectly. And one of my pals on my that I know, one of the viewers, he's got this, I think it's the previous version of this, and he was mentioning it, I'm going to buy the bracelet. Then he said the price, and it was working out at like £500. I was like, £500 just for a bracelet. But he went ahead and got it, and oh my friggin' god, man, did it change the watch. Oh, it really, I mean, I was like, oh, I really like that. But can I pay all that money just for a bracelet? What is it Christopher Ward charged for a bracelet? About £200? Well, Damasko are charging double that, and some, for a bracelet. Oh, but aye, it looks, I mean, I've got pictures of the bracelet, but I don't have any pictures with the bracelet attached to the watch, unfortunately. But you can see the quality of the bracelet. Oh, really, I would be tempted. If I went out and bought this watch, I'd be really happy with the strap, but then, say 6 months down the line, but that bracelet is shouting on me. And I'd probably fold and buy it. But anyway, moving on. I've done all that. Water resistance on this is 100 metres. It does have a screw down case back and a screw down crown. I'll show you the crown now. It is signed with a Damasko D, and as I said, buttery smooth. Tons and tons of grip, by the way. You won't have any issues with this using it. I'll show you the case back as well. Simple approach. All the German palaver, made in Germany, blah blah blah. I don't even know what half of that says. Aye, but this is all ice hardened as well. I mean, to me, if you want a tool watch, this is the best I've reviewed. Easily. I really, really like this watch. And as I say, I would buy it if it was 38mm. Just for my own wrist size. I've done that. The crown, by the way, is 6.5mm. Screw down, blah, blah, blah. Where to buy? Now, obviously, if you look at Damasko, well, I did anyway. If you look at Damasko's website, the retail price is actually higher than what you can get it from Noman Watches. So, there's no kickback for me. It doesn't matter where you go to buy this watch, but seeing as Noman Watches were kind enough to supply it and so I could show it on video, I would suggest you buy it there, because I also done a Google search looking for this elsewhere, and Noman Watches was the cheapest compared to retail and everything else. So I would recommend you go to Noman Watches to buy this if you're interested. You can also buy the bracelet there as well if you want to do that. Warranty wise, 2 years. Kind of bare minimum, but this thing will last longer than you will. And basically that's about it, guys. I mean, watch is great. Really surprised by it. First Damasko I've ever seen. I have heard of them, obviously. I've heard of them for years, and I've always kept an eye on them, but there was nothing that really pushed me like to go and buy one. But now that I've seen it, I'm thinking, man, these are leagues above, and they're worth their price. Award-wise, I'm actually going to give it the Innovation Award because of that whole ice hardening and their general approach. Everything about this watch screams phenomenal. That's the only way I could describe it. Fantastic watch. and I highly recommend it. It's, as I said earlier, you might think, oh, it's a bit simple and simplistic. But see, when you get the watch in hand, you use it, you put it on wrist, and you're like, that's well nice. That is better than any micro brand that try and copy this kind of aesthetic. Field watches, pilots watches. No, this is a proper tool watch. Made in Germany. And you know what the Germans are like. Right guys, that's the video over. Thanks very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Toodles.